Just pulled up to the house, don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best, taking a moment to rest, feeling stressed out. Give it a cut, I put that on God when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with that mentality. Jump on, jealousy, my bad. Get away from me, 'cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, already got the world on me. Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. Hey, hey, better way. Oh, hey. Mom and Dad's only daughter, do I make you proud? Writing my life in lyrics, do you like the sound? Seeking approval constantly. When it's my truth I own, I speak it, don't make sense now. Give it a cut, yeah. Put that on cut when it gets hard. I stay on my job like no days off, so you can go home with that. Jump on my back. I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter, I'ma make a better way. 'Cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can.
Why are you going back and forth? I can't keep up with your mood swings. What is troubling your mind? Are you doing this just to test me? I'm bad at handling this type of thing. Why I don't get it, you say it's a man thing. Babe, I wanna be around. I just wanna make your heart sing. But you're not letting me get through to you. Yeah. If you let your guard down, baby, this is what I'll do. Come on, baby. Love you, I will love you, I will love you like a queen. I'm willing to take you to a place.
NationIvey.com. Mr. Ivey know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised dogs, close this, yeah, too strong. Team AI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squads in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlative, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the 10th place, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? John B the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivey, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the bricks at, Cincinnati red tag. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 5-1-3, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Where my people at. Good morning to you. It is an absolute beautiful Thursday morning, February 17th, 2022. I mean, think about this, family. 2/22/22 is next week. That's got to be a lucky day. 2/22/22, February 22nd, 2022 is just next week. It's on Tuesday. You got to do something lucky. You got to play lottery or something like that. And if you win, you got to share like 0.5% with me. That's it. Or more, depending on how you feel. Good morning to you. Welcome back to the last honest place in Cincinnati media, if not the country. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. Good morning to you. On today's show, I want to talk about numerous things, including this story right here. This story right here, I want to get your thoughts about this. Plus, I'll show the video to you as well. And this actually hit my radar screen last week, but I'm just getting to it. There's just so many delicious things to talk about. But on today's show, I want to talk about this. I want to get your thoughts as to what you think. How do you think this man handled this situation? And if you haven't seen this video, this black man's been catching some heat for the way that he dealt with his daughter. It all got caught on the Ring camera. Those are very popular these days. The Ring, R-I-N-G camera. I remember when the founder of the Ring camera went on Shark Tank. Went on Shark Tank to try to raise money, and they told him it was a bad idea and it wouldn't work. And then since then, it's just completely blown up and it's everywhere. It's huge now, right? But people have these kind of things. And basically, when you're not at home, you can still sort of surveil people who are at your front door or wherever you might put the cameras up. You can even talk to them and things like that. Those things are very, very popular these days. So it all got caught on the Ring camera. And I want to play this quick video for you, and then you tell me what you think. All right. But social media got after him after, he dealt with his daughter in this way. And I have a daughter. I have a son. I'm a father. I'm a husband. I'm a family man. And I want to give you my thoughts about how this man handled this situation in just a minute. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson and the Olympic scandal. So when she got caught with marijuana, which is not a performing enhancing drug, everybody was criticizing her. Even black folks turned on her. You shouldn't have been doing it, right? Meanwhile, you got a whole nother Olympic athlete that tested positive for performing enhancing drugs. They're allowed to continue with the Olympics. What? Huh? What? Double standards. We must discuss this morning at 513-873-7134. I did not get a chance to go down. I didn't have any plans to go down. I'm a little scruffy. I'll take care of this later. Sometimes I like to let it grow out. It's healthy for a man's beard. Anyway, I live in the Midwest. A man should have a beard. Should have a scraggly beard in the Midwest. It means I'm a man. Yeah. Anyway, they had the big Washington Park celebration for the Bengals. I wasn't able to get there, but I saw a lot of people on my timeline on social media who were there. Looked like it was a great time. I did see that Zach Taylor got an extension, a contract extension through 2026. So he ain't going nowhere. Smart move, nail him down. He seems to be a hot, bright, hot coaching prospect. Say whatever you want to say about Zach Taylor, his age, the way he looks, that little baby face. He don't have no facial hair at all. But he got the Bengals to the Super Bowl, so results are results. I say roll with him and see what he can do. You never know. The Bengals might mess around and make a repeat in the next 5 years. Anything is possible. So I do have some more thoughts about that we must discuss this morning. Plus, there's been a couple of viral videos that we must discuss, but that's the tip of the iceberg. Of course, Cincinnati has a new police chief, and I'm going to have to wait until I hear from her to really make a decision, but I don't know. It was just some things that I learned yesterday that are completely unfair. It is completely unfair. I fully admit that what I'm going to say about the interim police chief may be unfair. I fully admit it. Okay. What my critique of her, something that just kind of I don't know, stuck with me, is completely unfair, but I'm going to say it anyway. Okay. But I'm going to say it anyway this morning. So stick around for that. 513-873. And you can tell me how unfair I am. I understand it. I'm okay with it. Somebody's got to be unfair. Also, I want to reiterate this morning just how much I enjoyed the movie Django Unchained. I was on the Grio's website within the last 48 hours, and one of their writers did a write-up. They were doing it's like Black History Month. They were doing a focus on Black history, like Black movies. And so they focused on Django. That's the movie with Jamie Foxx. Excellent movie, by the way. One of the best Westerns of all time. And if you're a Black person, especially, I'm going to try to convince you to give that movie a chance. All right. There's one element in particular that is so rare in movies. It is the rarest thing ever. It's rarer than what's a precious metal? What's a very rare precious metal? Like diamonds, much more rare than any diamond. And you can find it in that movie, Django Unchained. And I don't care if they use the N-word every damn second. The movie's still classic. Don't let these people confuse you. They're getting you all off the headlines and off the plot. Oh, did Quentin Tarantino made the movie? I don't give a damn who made the movie. There's an element in that movie that is so rare. It is so rare. And any Black patron of movies should be looking for it. I'll share it with you in a second. 513-873-7134. Also, and this ain't nothing. Listen, I'm not here to save the world. Now, we've saved the city a couple times. Okay, we saved Hamilton County from Bruce Hoffmeyer. This little show saved Hamilton County. We saved the city of Cincinnati, because if that man would have became sheriff, it would have been the worst thing in a long time. All right, so we should be proud of ourselves. But we don't do that every day. Sometimes we just have interesting conversations. So hopefully that'll be our goal this morning. If you want to share your thoughts, 513-873-7134. That's right, Crystal. Virgo's gonna Virgo. # unfair. That's right. What I'm going to say about the police chief is the interim police chief is completely unfair. I already know, but I'm going to say it anyway. All right, we'll get to that in just a minute. 513-873-7134. But first, I want you to check out this video and then tell me give me your gut reaction, right, on the way that this Black man handled this situation with his daughter. He took a lot of heat on social media. Lots of heat. People came for him. Pitchforks, everything. Bad father, everything, because of the way that he handled the situation. And let me set this up for you. It appears that father is on his way to take daughter to school. We've all done it. You know what I'm saying? Many of you are in the process of doing that right now. You're taking your kids to school, right? But something happens that disrupts the plan. But check this out. I want to make sure you can hear everything too. Check this out.
You have to be responsible for yourself. Oh, I'm going to talk. Hey, go in the house. Tell your mom to take you to school. I'm not putting up with your attitude. Go. Go.
So basically, dad was on his way to take his daughter to school, and she has a little attitude. She says, like, I'm not talking to you. And he was quick with it. He asked no questions. He was like, look, I ain't dealing with it. Tell your mama to take you to school. He walked back to the car and left. And people were calling him a bad father for the way he dealt with that. And I want you to let it marinate for a little while. And I want you to tell me whether you think that he handled that appropriately. Because I got some strong opinions about it. I want to share with you. I have very strong opinions. I want you to tell me whether you think he handled it appropriately. Have you ever been in that situation before? You know what I'm saying? You're on your way, take your kids to school, and for whatever reason, somebody got an attitude. Now, I live with a teenager. She's a female. She always got an attitude. Every day, I don't know what happened to my little girl. Everybody used to tell me, like, wait till she becomes a teenager. I'm like, can't be that bad. I got a sweet little girl. Completely 180. It is not uncommon for me to go in her room and for her to say, I just want to be alone. It happens all the time. I'm like, wait a minute. I used to come here and get hugs. Can I just be alone? Oh, God. Can you just get out, please? I'm like, what the hell? Then I get in my feelings like, wait, you ain't going to talk to daddy like that in daddy's house. We ain't doing that. Now, if you want to be alone, you can say I want to be alone, but get out. We ain't doing that. I got to check medium Buddha all the damn time. Or I just got to deal with it like, oh, my God, teenagers. I have no idea what my son's going to be like, but my teenage daughter is every bit a teenage daughter. Brilliant. I love her. She can get anything from daddy, but her attitude is legendary. It's legendary in our house now. I'm like, what happened? But I'm talking about a teenager. In this particular instance, this girl looks like she is like, I don't know. People are better than this than I am. I'm bad at ages, but she looks like she's young. She ain't no teenager. I'm not putting up with the attitude, not today. And he put this online. Apparently, the father put this online. What? So you know what happens is that when you purposely put stuff online, you open yourself up for critiques. Everybody in your business. So we're going to get into business this morning. And I want you to tell me about your feelings about how this black father dealt with his black child. Did he deal with this appropriately? I have a strong opinion. Give me your thoughts. 513-873-7134. Carmelita, yes, I did hear about that, Carmelita, and may talk about it today. I may talk about it. I've been planning to talk about that for some time. Jason writes, the original Django is totally different from Jamie Foxx's, is it? I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, it is totally different. It is. I did see that. I did see that. But the Jamie Foxx Django is classic. Because there's something that is super rare. Like, it's super duper rare. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of the rarest things on planet Earth. And I'll share it with you in just a second. But did you see this video? Crystal writes, who's she talking to? I see no problem. Okay. Jerica writes, what did he do wrong? There are different types of fathers that we need. Okay. Kimberly, hey, good morning, Kimberly. She writes, don't see nothing wrong with what he did. We would have gotten smacked. Jason's in the house. Good morning to you, brother. He writes, I didn't realize he pushed her in the house. I don't like that part, but otherwise, it wasn't that bad. He didn't yell at her. Shauna writes, WTF? He handled it a whole lot better than I would have. She was too comfortable telling him not to talk to her. My husband would have flipped out. Really? Damn. Y'all not going to like, y'all might be surprised to hear what I have to say then. You may not. I can already tell we're going to disagree on this a little bit. I can see, or maybe a lot of it. But more of your comments here. Callie writes, I probably would have done the same thing. Don't have time for mess. TNT writes, I don't see nothing wrong. Who is posting that anyway? I believe he posted it. Chris writes, since when is Diamond a mental? LOL. Did I say mental by mistake? I don't know. Kimberly writes, yes, he did. These kids are disrespectful. Yes, I popped mine in his mouth, period. Have you? I remember when I was a teenager, I went to my friend's house and we was playing video games in his room. And his mom came home and she was not happy. You ever be at your friend's house and when the parents come home, you can tell they don't really want you there or they like a little irritated. And you start to feel uncomfortable. You're like, ooh, let me just be quiet. And apparently he was supposed to clean the bathroom before we got home, before she got home from work. He didn't do that because he playing video games with me all day. She was heated. And he said something fly to her, and all I heard was smack him, smack him. So all I heard was just one smack. I mean, it was like, smack him. And it's like I had to hold my breath. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Maybe she'll forget I'm here. And he walked in the room. Half his face is on fire, just red. He's like, man, I can't have company right now. You got to go. My mom said you got to go. I'm like, man, it's okay, dude. Pick my little things up. Okay, dude, I'm out. That's old school. Parents will smack the fire out of your ass. Hit you with stuff. Like what you say? Showing out in Kroger, think I won't show out on your eyes. You know why? Listen, all that. But that was back in the uncivilized days. We got all these books and all this learning. We know better now. And when you know better, you do better. You're not supposed to do that with your kids. You turn them into serial killers, gangbangers, something like that. Let me play this one more time, then I'm going to give you a strong opinion about this because just reading some of y'all comments, I could tell we gonna fall out. But it's okay. It's okay.
You have to be responsible for yourself. Oh, I'm going to talk. Hey, go in the house. Tell your mom to take you to school. I'm not putting up with your attitude. Go. Go.
I cannot be the only person that sees the problems with this. I can't. Somebody says showing that you're a trash father and trash parent all in the same sentence. That's a talent. The internet is undefeated. Am I the only person? Does anybody see any problems with this? Does anybody see any problems with this? I cannot be alone in this. I am a father. I've raised a daughter. I'm raising a son now. He's 7. He's right in that wheelhouse. Kids gonna test you. Okay. My daughter is a teenager. We've had some interactions where I'm like, you know what? I think you should have this conversation with your mother due to the nature of it, right? And that's the benefit you have when you're in a 2-parent household is that you can play the kids off of each other. Like, you can get so mad at your kids that you don't want to react in your anger. So you like, let me shut this down. Let me get myself together, and then I can be your parent. I can react the way I'm supposed to. I can think about it, and rather just reacting, and it might just go bad. I totally understand that. I totally understand that part. But what I saw this black man right here do, I'm going to go ahead and make a strong statement. This is not fatherly. This is unmanly. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And the reason why I don't like it is because at that age, when your kids say something to you like, don't talk to me, what they really want you to do is talk to them. At that age, when your kids say something like that, they want you to know that something's bothering them. And it's your job to try to get to the bottom of it, or at least to open up the door so they can talk about it. But what I saw this black man do was get in his feelings and shirk his responsibility. He pushed it all on mama. No, Negro, you supposed to take her to school today. You just gonna just shirk all your responsibility and put it on her because she acting a little certain way. That's what being a dad is all about. Work it out, Dad. Go figure out what's wrong. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's unfatherly. It's unmanly. You know what I'm saying? You just gonna push it on tell your mom take you to school. What? Maybe mom has to get to work early or something. Now mom's like, she thought, okay, I got a little headspace here. I got a little time because dad's gonna take her to school and I can do whatever. Maybe I can get some grits and eggs this morning. But no, she can't do that because he can't deal with his emotions. That's what I see. I think the people were right to criticize him online. Wait a minute. That's a child. That's a little girl. She said, don't talk to me. That means she wants you to talk to her. That means something is going on. It's your job to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, sometimes being a dad means you got to be a private, emotional fucking investigator. It comes with the territory. It's what makes it so hard. You don't get to just say, you know what? Screw all of this. I ain't taking you to school today. I'm not going to drive my kid to school because my kid had an attitude. Then no kids would ever go to school. The kids have attitudes every day. Every day. That's what we do now. I'm going to shirk my responsibility as a father because you got an attitude. That's not what parents do. That's just my opinion about it. I'm not saying I'm an unmovable object on this. I'm not saying that. I want to hear what you have to say about it. But my gut reaction when I saw it, I was like, that's some weak ass man shit right there. What do you mean? We ain't pulling a ripcord. No, I'm taking you to school and you gonna get over it or we gonna talk about it. And that's what's gonna happen. Period. And I don't care if you don't want me to take you to school. That's what I'm going. That's my job. Deal with it. That's how I look at it. Now, am I wrong in that? No, because it's just an opinion. But I want to get your thoughts about it. That's what we're doing out here. We're not doing our fatherly duties because the kid got an attitude. Kids have attitudes every day. That's what they do. They're children. They have attitudes all the time. And again, at that age, really at any age, you about to walk out, take your kid to school. Your kids say, don't talk to me. That means they want you to talk to them. Something is going on. That's how kids are. They want you to know. They want you to go through the process of pulling it out. It proves that you care about them. This Negro pushes her back into the room. Go tell your mama to do it. It's a partnership. Your job is take the kid to school today, black man. That's what you do. Period. That's your assignment. Your assignment is not take her to school unless she got an attitude. Your assignment is take her to school today. Make sure she gets there safely. And have a conversation with her. Put some music on or whatever. Make it funny. I don't know. They don't give you no instruction manual on how to deal with children, daughters that got attitudes. You got to make it up as you go along like everybody else do. But that's my take on it. Okay, that's my take. What do you think about my take on it? I like to know. Jason writes, my daughter has attitude sometimes. It happens with girls. Right, it happens. You gonna stop doing what you supposed to do because your kid has an attitude? I would never do anything with them. They always got attitudes. Every morning, every day, me, I. That's just children. That's just how they are. Anthony writes, I think he did. He could have snatched her up. Once girls hit preteen, they have attitude. Omar writes, he was 100% right. He was 100% wrong, Omar. He had an assignment. His assignment was take daughter to school and make sure she gets there safely. He didn't do that. How can you say he was 100% right, Omar? Oh my God, my work is just getting started. Thank God I'm here. Thank God to bring some common sense to the world because that don't make no damn sense. Your assignment is take daughter to school. Sometimes kids gonna have attitudes. Sometimes they're gonna be moody. Sometimes they don't want to talk. Okay, great. I'll put the music on. We don't have to talk. Great. But I'm gonna make sure you get to school safely. I'm gonna make sure that you know that there's an opportunity for you to tell me what's going on. I'm gonna set that table. And if you want to drive silently to school, okay. That's what he should have done. But he did some weak ass man shit, ran away from his responsibility. It's too difficult. I'm not dealing with it now. I'm hung over from last night. I don't have the mental and emotional capacity to deal with my own child. So I'm gonna push her back in on mom's. Huh? No. Absolutely motherfucking not. No. I'm gonna deal with it. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. I'll let moms know what we talked about later, but right here, right now, we're gonna deal with this. I'm your father. You don't want to talk? We ain't got to talk. There's been plenty of times I took Medium Buddha somewhere she didn't want to talk. You know what we did? We either sat in silence, which is cool for me because I'm a Virgo that's always got thoughts in my head anyway, or I put some music on. We ain't had to talk at all. But I'm going to make sure you get there safely. I'm going to make sure that you have an opportunity to express yourself, right? I'm going to set that environment. If you don't take it, cool. But you'll never be able to say that, speaking about myself or my own children, you'll never be able to say that daddy didn't give you that opportunity. If you don't take it, you don't take it. Okay. Now, how the hell is he 100% right and he did not complete the assignment, Omar? Oh, my God. Jagger's in the house. Kimberly says exactly. Lisa writes, my only issue is why is it okay for you to opt out but push off on mine? Correctamundo, Lisa. Exactly. You just opt out because it's hard and just throw it back on her? That's weak man-ish right there. I'm telling you what you just saw in case you didn't know it. That's weak man-ish. No, we ain't doing none of that. We're going to talk about it or we're not going to talk about it. But I'm taking you to school today. It don't matter who you want to take you. Sometimes my kids want their mother to take them. Sometimes they want me to take them. We decide. We are the adults. We make those decisions. You know what I'm saying? And we execute the assignment, period. That's exactly one of my points, Lisa. You just gonna opt out and push it off on moms. Moms is probably thinking, damn, I got 15 minutes more sleep in the morning, or I can scramble up some grits and some eggs, or damn, I can check my emails before I take a shower and get to work. Boom. Now her whole morning that she had in her head comes to a screeching halt because dad got in his feelings. And that makes sense. Nat writes, as a single father, I see the hypocrisy. If that was a mother, there would be no problem. I feel the same way. I would feel the same way, but as a man, I'm a little bit more critical of the actions of other men. But I would feel the same way. Your job is complete the assignment. But what do you think? Let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. I'm doing well. Hold on one second, brother. My bad. I got to make sure you plugged into the board here. I believe we got you. Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Nate. How you doing? This is Chris.
Hey, what's up, Chris? Good morning to you, brother.
Before you gave your example, I called in and I listened to it, and you know what I heard before you said all that? It's the key words right there, and it was, "Don't talk to me today," from a child. And then the father saying, you know what? Go tell your mother to take you to school. So right now, with that child, it's not, they don't have that bond that you and little Media Buddha have. They don't have that bond that, what our household had as teaching that child exactly who the parent is from the gut. I mean, we can spoil, we from the way you talk about your daughter, and I know how I treat, how our family, my wife and I, we treat our daughter, but she's spoiled. She gets anything she wants because I promise her that. So you make straight A's, I'm not going to say no. Young lady makes straight A's. But there's lessons that's taught along the way with that. There's no, what the old folks say, there's no cutting the mouth, or there's no getting smart or whatever. There's none of that. You're going to respect us as your parents. So there's no telling either one of us what you want. You can ask us, but you ain't going to tell us nothing. You can tell us how you're feeling, yeah, but you ain't anything that you want. No, you can ask us. And then when we give our answer, there's no why. It's because we just answered it. So that young lady already runs that household, because it was what he said was, you go tell your mom that you need to ride to school. No. Don't tell nothing.
Yeah. You know what, Chris? That's another part I don't like. Like in that situation, you go tell mom what you decided. Don't run the kid in it, and you just gonna get in the car and drive away like, I ain't got time for this. I got my own problems. Wait a minute.
And
that's not how.
And
that's
we don't know.
Work.
And probably from what we don't know the whole story, But for what we see and what we may think, what we may speculate on this is, he already kind of, like you said, he's not 100% of that father figure caring. I mean, it's, everything got be fly. I'm the fly guy, so it's one of those things of, I can already see, like you said, he's kind of weak, and like you said, pushed it off, and like, you know what, I ain't dealing with that. You know what? So how many times has he been in and out of that household, or what kind of disrespect has she seen from him towards her mother? And those are like just the small things. And the gentleman was right, because I thought the same thing. Who said, I don't see, as a single father, he's like, I don't see the disrespect. If it was a woman, to be totally different. That was my very first thought. And I listened to it. I'm like, no, he telling her to go tell. No, that ain't no child telling no child of mine, and ain't no child of anybody else is gonna be in my house and tell me what I'm gonna do, or my wife what we gonna do. That's something that they need. So it's
You mean
just
when
the
she
way
said,
that
"Don't talk to me"?
No, when he told her to go tell, that he's given her permission already just to go tell her mom.
Yeah, I don't do that.
What she be? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Go tell. No,
when I got something, I don't send kids to messages with adults. I don't do that. When I got something to say to my wife, I say it to her. My kids are not messengers between me and other adults. That's not a place for a kid. So I don't roll like that. If I had made that decision, which wouldn't have happened, I would have told her. You don't got to tell her. I'm going to tell her why I did it, but it just wouldn't happen that way. If that would have been me, I picked my daughter up. Now, of course, she's a teenager. I picked my daughter up from school about 2 weeks ago. She get in the car, it's all over her face. She's like, Dad, I don't want to talk. We didn't say a word. I gave her space. It ain't no problem.
Right, but what she say? She said, Dad, I don't want to talk. She acknowledged you as an adult, so you treat her, give her the respect as an adult. This child acknowledged him as a disrespectful adult because they've already taught that child to do that. When he said, go tell the other parent what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go ask your mom. He didn't say, you know what? I'm not going to deal with your attitude today. You know what? It's not right. I need you to go ask your mom to give you a ride to school, because I'm not going to do it, because you're not going to disrespect me like that. Total difference. Same thing he did and walked away. He could have been the same thing. Said words are totally different. He said it's the same words, just in a different meaning of giving that child that lesson of, okay, I know that I can't tell my parents what to do. I need to ask them. So now, like you said, little Buddha said, Dad, I don't want to talk about it right now. Yeah. So you gave her space.
We ain't say a word. I just turned the music up. I was listening to NPR, and we didn't say a word at all. And I was cool with that. I didn't think anything else of it.
But it's the same. Y'all said exactly the same situation. Y'all said exactly the same thing, but the way the words, y'all respected each other. This child don't respect her parents.
If that had been me, I would have. If same scenario, we walking up to the car, my daughter's like, "Don't talk to me." I'd have been like, "Oh, don't talk to me." As soon as she said, I would have thought, "Oh, something's going on." That's what I would have thought, because we have to normalize. I think we need to normalize allowing children to have mental health days, and to have days where they don't feel like getting up in the morning and they feel cranky. That ain't I don't automatically take that as you disrespecting me. I'm not that sensitive. I'm like, oh, something going on with her. I would have gotten in the car. I would have told her, like, look, say something going on, just want to let you know Daddy's here for you. And then after that, it would have been up to her. If she wanted to have a conversation, great. If she wanted to drive in silence to school, and that's what I would have done. But I would have completed the assignment and made sure that my child got to school safely. Period.
Yep. And I agree with you 100%. But the words, the way that you and Media Buddha, the way that we do with our daughter, and that situation, the communication is totally different. Like the way she said it, the communication, the way it came off was totally different. And now I can honestly say, if I feel it, I know that if my daughter would have said that to me, I wouldn't have just pushed her in the house. It would have been some other words that come out my mouth, and probably I've never laid a hand on my daughter. but my daughter's not that way. So I can't say that I would have, because I didn't raise my child to act like that towards any adult, to talk like that.
And again, I just don't even think the child was disrespectful. I don't look at that as disrespect per se. I look at it as, oh, something's going on with her today. You know, she in her feelings.
No.
Something's bothering her. That's how I would have looked at it. Like, oh, something's bothering her today. Let me give her some space. Like, kids need space too. Sometimes they don't want to talk. Sometimes they moody. Sometimes they snappy, as all adults are. But when it's our kids, I think sometimes we automatically, you ain't gonna disrespect me. I'm not that sensitive. You know what I'm saying? I don't automatically take it that way.
And okay, so I'm not saying disrespect, and disrespecting you is disrespecting me as a human being and talking to me like that. And that's not just me. I don't when it's things like that, I don't just say as her father. I say as an adult. That now I could only imagine just that little nitpick of how she may talk to her teachers at school, or how she speaks with any other adult, or how she reacts with any other thing, because she always gets her way anyway. That's what I see. Okay. That it's a lot more than that little nitpick, that little screenshot of that video of what and how that child speaks to an adult.
So, Chris, let me make sure I get it straight. So, do you think that this man handled it the right way or not?
It goes. I'm saying it goes beyond that. It goes far beyond that. This situation, I'm honest for him as a person, not even knowing him. I'm gonna say for his attitude and lack of father or non-communication. Yes, because we don't know what would have happened in the car, what she would have said, it would, push him over the edge to do or say anything to the young lady, to the child. But as a father who cares and communicates, no, it was not the right way. But it goes farther beyond that day of how he raised his daughter to speak to him and to adults, or to her mother, because like I said, he told her to go tell. And that's exactly what she did. She told him, don't talk to me. She didn't ask him. She told him. And them raising their daughter, it shows that he said to go tell your mom to take you to school today. Not go ask your mom, because I'm not going to do it, because I'm not dealing with your attitude. You go tell your mama, because you just told me not that you don't want to talk to me. So that daughter's been telling them what she wants since she's been able to talk, not asking.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Chris, thanks for the call, bro. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good day. That's Chris checking in. You can too at 513-873-7134. I want to get your thoughts about it. So that's how I look at it. Again, I'm not trying to go overboard on this black man, because I don't know him personally, but he put the video out there. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? So it's an opportunity to make a few points and perhaps have an interesting conversation. But those are my issues with it. We got Daryl on deck coming up next. Again, you could join the conversation at 513-873-7134. As a matter of fact, that number is not going to change anytime soon. Go ahead and lock me into your phone. Even if you're not planning on calling in today, just put Nathan Ivey Show, or you can put Send Digital Media, and boom, it'll come straight up. So my issue is, you can't shirk your responsibilities as a father. It's a partnership. Mom do what she do, dad do what she do. It's your turn to take her to school today, then you take her to school today. Number two, we can't be so sensitive. We got to normalize giving our kids the space to be human and to have bad days. And this is something that they got to realize in the schools as well. Like, a good teacher, a good administrator knows this, is that sometimes kids come to schools with attitudes, just like adults did. They didn't want to get up this morning. They're not in the mood for it. They're cold. They're sick. They're tired. They're hungry. It might have been last week. My son was in the office here. He was watching me. I think I was messing around on the computer doing something. And then all of a sudden he's like, Dad, I said something to him. He's like, I just don't feel like talking right now, Dad. I'm gonna go to my room. He got up, went to his room. I didn't think anything else of it. Now, in the back of my head, I was thinking he might come back around and want to talk. But I feel like, and in no way am I trying to pat myself on the back, because I ain't perfect by no means. I'm learning every single day, and it's a struggle to be a father. It's a real struggle. This family man shit is a struggle. It's a thing you do every day. But so in no way am I trying to come across like I'm holier than thou. I'm learning and making mistakes like everybody else. So let me get that shit out straight. Just because the flow is superlative does not mean I think I'm perfect in any way. But I think we need to normalize giving our kids space and allowing them to say, if that was my daughter, I don't know if she would say, don't talk to me. And we got to train now, but she probably would say like, Dad, I don't feel like talking right now. And then I'm like, oh, okay, something's going on. She'll circle back around, or maybe she won't. That happens all the time now that she's a teenager. I feel like he handled it wrong. I feel like what he should have said was, oh, my daughter needs me. Your kids say to you, don't talk to me. They want you to talk to them. They want to hear what you have to say. He should have gotten in the car. He should have told her, like, look, Daddy loves you. I don't know what's going on, but I listen to anything you got to say. Just set that table. Make them set the table. Now, whether she eat or not, you don't know, but set the table, Dad. Set that environment so she can come holler at you and tell you what's going on. And then just wait. And then sometimes she'll say something on the way to school, or maybe not. She'll tell you later, but you got to set that table. And I just felt like he handled that completely wrong. Go back in there and tell your mama. And the second thing, I don't send kids. I don't send no children as no messenger when I'm talking to a grown person. Who does that? If I have something to say to my wife or something like that, I mean, it might be something small, but something like that, I'm gonna tell you. Look, such and such tripping. I really feel like explain yourself fully to your wifey or your partner or the mother of your kid. Explain what your rationale is, because she thinking you taking her to school this morning. She got plans. I get 10 minutes more worth of sleep. That shit valuable as hell in the morning. 10 minutes? That's a lot of time. 15 minutes, you got to work all day. That's everything. Now that's over with because you can't stand up and do what you got to do as a father, as a man. I don't like it. Those are my thoughts. But let's go to Daryl. Good morning, Daryl. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, good brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, brother. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Okay. This situation, I hear what you're saying, and you are so right about not sending using children to send messages between the parents. I agree with you. That's how I came up. So I understand that part of it, but on this one, there's not enough information for me, Nate, because if you go back, just listen to the language, and we might, and I'll say I'm speculating, but if you listen to the language, there's a couple of things I noticed. You said it, and you've been repeating it. Go tell your mother. I think that's how you put it.
Yeah.
Go tell your mother to
Right.
take you to school. So that suggests to me there could possibly be a stepfather relationship there. That's not his biological child. And I know in some cases, if you're in that situation, you look at that child as your child, and I'm not saying that he didn't in this situation, but the dynamics are different if that's not his biological daughter. Would you agree with that?
Yes, the dynamics are different, but I would say his response should be as if it is his biological child. You know what I'm saying? But I can see how your mentality is different. But really, if you decide to go into a blended family, that's your kid. You got to look at and treat those kids the same way you would your kids. I treat them the same.
Right.
If I made that decision to be with a woman, she got kids, I'm going to treat them kids like they're my kids. They're going to get the same love and attention and consideration and patience.
Right. I'm just saying, it's just going back to my first premise, or at least for me, I don't have enough information because I don't know what he went through. He might, be like, look, go deal with, more or less, go deal with your mother because whatever the backstory is he was dealing with, that may have pushed him over and he didn't want to say or do something that he couldn't take back. So if you look at it like, I'm gonna just put myself in this position, and I don't want to overreact and have a detrimental outcome that I can't, because once it's done, once something's done or said, you can't take it back, and that could be harmful. So he's just like more or less gonna obfuscate in your perception, obfuscate his responsibility by handling the situation and delegating it to the mother.
Right.
I mean, we don't know. The one thing I do know that I don't agree with is, why did he put it on social media? I mean, we got to stop doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I understand it's good for us to talk about it, but my thing is, okay, when you first told the story, I was like, how did this get out?
He put the video out there.
You said, well, right. That's what I'm saying. And then I was like, then you said he put it out there, and I'm like, well, why would he do that? What is in my mind, I'm like, what's the end game? Why did you put it out there?
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Because the way you think something may go down and how you perceive it is not going to be, it could be completely opposite by the general audience. And I would imagine that's what he's finding out right now, that, like, I'm going to get support. He got blowback. And so I'm just going to say, I can see your side of it. I can see where I just don't have enough information. That's where I'm going to come. I'm like, there's too many gaps. And another point that I wanted to share with you about this situation is, when he told his daughter to go back in and tell your mother to take you to school, you see how reluctant and locked up the daughter became?
Yeah.
That suggests to me that the mother brings the heat in that relationship or in that family in terms of discipline.
I can see that.
Because it wasn't like, oh, well, okay. And I was just going to ask my mom. It was like that reluctance, like, oh, I got to deal with her.
Right.
And
But I can see that a couple ways. I can see that kind of like, oh, I know she's going to be mad because mom is resting. She said she had a long day today. Or it could be that, again, what I think is that when a kid her age says to their parent, don't talk to me, they want to talk to you. So when dad sent her back in and she knew that their time was going to end, I wonder if she got in her feelings like, well, that's not really what I wanted. I wanted dad to really talk to me. And sometimes kids want you to pull it out.
Yeah.
You got that's your job. You got to pull it out of them.
Yeah, I agree with you. There. Yeah, he got kind of caught up. I'm just thinking there was something else going on with him outside of her. And maybe I don't know. I just don't know enough. I mean, there's a lot there that we don't know. That's all. That's really all I'm saying.
But,
are you going to touch on the? I'm sorry.
I was going to say, just real quick, Daryl, but if I had to press you to give me your thoughts as to whether you think he handled it right or not, and I know for you don't feel like you have enough information, what would you say?
I'm going to say I don't think he did anything wrong.
Okay.
Only because I know I've seen situations where it may come off the way you see it, but I don't know what's going on with that father, and he might be like, I'm at 1/4 of a F to give, and you about to take me over that quarter, and then I'm gonna go. I mean, it's gonna go beyond I'm disciplining you, and we need to talk. It's gonna go from 0 to 100. And when we go to 100, it's not going to be good for nobody. And so if you avoided that situation, then I have no problem with what he did.
Okay.
So,
and you were going to ask me about something else?
Yeah, I was just going to ask you, are you going to touch on the case with I think it was the 8th grader and the 10th grader in New Jersey, and they ended up cuffing?
Yeah. I will touch on that. I will touch on that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
All right, brother. Take it easy. That's Daryl from Atlanta, everybody. Appreciate the phone calls. And again, there's no right or wrong answer. Listen, we talk about people. I'm a people watcher. I've been saying it for years. I love to watch people, and I just take these situations, these viral moments, as an opportunity for us to examine how we would do things and how we look at things. That's just my style. But I want to get your thoughts about it. And if you missed the video, let me play this video for you again, because I know some folks are just coming in, and you're like, "Well, I didn't see the video." And let me show the video to you, and then you tell me. My question is very simple: do you think that the father handled this situation right? Check this out. So here's the scenario. The scenario is it all got caught on a ring camera, RING. Some of y'all, anybody's got a ring camera? How does it work? I thought about buying something like that. We do have a surveillance system, but I was thinking about getting a ring camera system for whatever reason. And just wondering if you've got it and how it works for you. Just a little sidebar. But so this got caught on ring cam. Looks like a nice little neighborhood. Look across the street there. I see some nice homes. I don't see trash in the yard. I love those kind of neighborhoods. Got the little look. Somebody's barbecuing. They're living good. 2-car garage right there. They can put a basketball hoop up there. Get your Larry Bird on. So she's on her way to school. And I can't tell if she's wearing a uniform or not. I break it all the way down. I can't tell if a beautiful little girl and her father's on her way is in the process of taking her to school, and then this happens. Check this out.
For yourself. Oh, I'm gonna talk. Hey, go in the house. Tell your mom to take you to school. I'm not putting up with your attitude. Go.
Well, at least he locked the door, make sure everybody's safe. It is a nice neighborhood and all. Something about the way he's walking away, just saying, I don't know. I ain't trying to get all deep with the brother. The young girl is like, either she goes to like a private school, maybe a Catholic school, something like that, with the uniform I saw. Maybe an all girls school. She got the uniform on. I love to see the kids all dressed up with the backpacks on, man. That's a beautiful thing. Going to get they learn on. I love it, right? But I know you agree with me. Dad didn't handle that right. He didn't handle that right. And from the last caller, Daryl, we can kind of tell, because Daryl's like, oh, it must be something going on. I want to know what the backstory is. He might be on his wit's end. But the job of parent is 24/7, and you don't get to pick and choose how many wits you have when you're dealing with your kids. You don't get to pick and choose, because that's 24/7. That's 25/8. Being a parent is 25/8. You don't get no rest. You gave that up. Rest is for adults. You're a parent. Your kids might come in your room 2:00 in the morning, wake you up. I had a nightmare. Put their hands on your face. I had a nightmare, Dad. Dad, you awoke? No, I'm not awoke. It happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to pick and choose. And for me, clearly the young girl was crying out for some kind of attention. Clearly, when she says, don't talk to me, what she really wants is for you to listen to what's going on with her, right? And you can hear in his voice, initially, he had that sympathetic dad voice, like, hey. And it quickly went from hey to, you know what, I ain't got time for this. I got a report to do today. Damn it, I'm going to be late to work anyway. You know what, your mom's going to take you. That way I can get to work on time. You know what I'm saying? Works good for me anyway. He had that works good for me anyway walk as he was walking to his car, right? And then tell your mother, you're just going to put the responsibility on mom? Come on, Dad. I know you agree with me. I know I've won you over this morning, right? What do you think? Kimberly writes, nothing wrong. He explained why. Anthony writes, if he had to get to work, no time for games. Jericho writes, not today, Satan. Brent writes, I would have woke up on the floor if I were to deal with that. If I were to deal with that young girl do what that young girl did. Really? That's called abuse. We've normalized abuse. We don't even know what a wholesome, healthy relationship is. Getting smacked around because you express yourself is not fucking normal. That ain't normal. No, that girl did not deserve. Not that's the wrong attitude to take. And something tells me, I really want to believe this. Loving the avatar, Kimberly, by the way. I really want to believe this. I believe that father got into his vehicle, and as he was driving away, probably he got about 5 minutes away or so, he thought, damn, I effed up. I didn't have to do that. I should have took her to school, set the table, tell her I'm here to listen and we can talk about whatever. I got your back. I support you. If she takes the opportunity, great. If not, we can just drive in silence. You never did that with your kids before? You just drive in silence because they don't want to talk? That shit is so refreshing. Ain't nobody calling you dad, dad, dad. It's just silence. I'm like, you don't want to talk? Okay. Like, I might literally do that. Kids be like, I don't want to talk. I'm like, cool. I don't want to talk either. I get shit in my head and shit I'm dealing with. Cool. And when you want to talk, we'll be there. Jerica writes, parents these days allow their children to yell at them, ignore them, roll their eyes, tell them to get out their room. These same parents often become young grandparents. Hashtag parents are not friends. I'm surprised that you're taking this stance, Jerica. I am. Because you always about normalizing mental health and da. And now you're like, what? The kids can't have a bad day? Kids can't wake up and not feel like going to school? You know, yeah, they live in our house, but sometimes they don't want to hear what we got to say either, because they're human. So I don't know. I think yelling, ignoring, rolling their eyes. My children do not yell at me. They're gonna get cut. They're gonna get dealt with real quick. Ignore me. It depends. You know, it depends if I'm saying something to you. I want your full attention. If you just don't want to talk and you want to go in your room and not talk, I love those times. You can shut the door and everything, and we can talk later. Great. More time for me. Roll their eyes. It depends. Pretty much that gets checked all the time. Tell them to get out of their room. My daughter tries that, and it never ends well with her. It never ends well, but she tries it though. She'll try it. She's learned to change her language. Dad, can you please? That's what I hear now. So I had to check her a few times. But you have to do that with teenagers. You gotta let them know, like, oh, wait. This is our house. That Wi-Fi, that's my Wi-Fi. That password, that's my password. Your computer, that's really my computer that I'm letting you borrow because I like you. You live here. Sometimes you got to let them know. But all that stuff, I mean, can't we normalize kids just having a bad day and give them the space to not to be in their feelings? Because we all human. Everybody gets in their feelings about something at some point. And what do you typically need? You need to just be left the hell alone. Hell, you can do that with a spouse. You can have a spouse and you don't want to talk. I don't want to talk right now. What you gonna do? You gonna get in your feelings and, oh, you disrespecting me? No. All right. I'll holler at you later. I know where you live at. You know? But that's just me. I want to get your thoughts about it. I'm surprised at you, Jerica. But good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. It's Nicole. How you doing?
Hey, Nicole, good morning. Doing well.
Hey. So I'm glad you played the video over because I didn't catch the very, very beginning of it. And just looking at it now, still doesn't quite change my view. What I see is this little girl having an attitude right out the gate. So she was already mad. And the father, you know, from what I heard him initially, didn't seem like he said, you know, was talking normally, was just fine. And from that, I gathered that, you know, she probably asked for something, you know, like, can I spend a night over a family member's house? It just got rejected, just told no. So she was really mad about that and still mad about that. And he, you know, made his decision. It's over, conversation over, getting ready to go out the door. And you still lingering with that attitude about why you can't do X, Y, and Z. And so just with him even saying what he was saying normally, and then to be told, don't talk to me, I think that's where he just like, oh, no. You know what I mean? Because I think he knew why she was mad. And, or knew why she was mad. And responded like, I'm not about to deal with this because I already told you and I know that's a jump, and we're all just now, but dealing with little girls, I had 2 little girls myself. You know how it is. Once you tell a child no on something, and then they hold on to that, they still be like in their feelings about it. You done moved on, like don't even say anything else about it. And so we can't assume that we don't know that he didn't know what was wrong with her. I do agree with what you're saying. We as parents have to, pull back and anytime our kids, are acting differently or responding differently, or we know something's wrong, you can see it in their face, we have to pull it out of them. I do that all the time with my child. She can't just tell me, nothing's wrong when I know something's wrong, and I won't, let it go until she tells me what it is. And usually it comes to the point where she's at the verge of tears. She's holding it in so hard, trying to keep this stone face of like, it's nothing when it's clearly something wrong. And I think most parents, that, deal with their kids on a regular basis, they know their child, they know what's wrong, they know when something is wrong, and they handle it accordingly. I think about when I was young and how my mom would deal with me, like if there was any issues, like if I'm disciplined, she's telling me I got a spanking or whatever, but she rarely even did that. You know what I mean? At a certain point, she was like, we could talk about it later. Like, we're not going to argue about it. Now's not the time to discuss. Once everybody cool down, we'll come back and talk. She always made room to talk and gave me liberty to talk and express my feelings or whatever else. But at that moment or whatever the situation was, it was just whatever she told me to do, I had to do it right there, right? And that's just what it was. I remember even one time, I guess I had cut up real bad in church, and she told me in church, like, you're going to get it. And I'm like, then after that point, I was just like trying to be good, sing all the songs, do everything I was supposed to do. Went home, thought we were going to be good, thought maybe she forgot about it. We sung all the songs. It just was, I did a total 360. And then after that, she's like, I ain't forgot. Like I had been good for hours and hours and hours, but it was just like, no, you still don't get it. But anyway, I just thought about that. But to me, the father, I don't see anything totally wrong with what he did. I mean, if it's more in the lines of like what you were saying, if that's the scenario it was, then yeah, it probably would have been better to just take a moment and try to pull that out of her. But we really don't even know what the scenario is. And just coming off what it looked like to me, the little girl coming out, she was clearly already angry about something. Like she just, couldn't get something that she wanted. And, his response was just more or less zero toleration because I already told you no. You know what I mean? And that could be it. It could be a lot of things, but just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. All right, TNT, thanks for the call.
All right.
I appreciate it. What do you think? Again, I'm not some unmovable object. Perhaps someone will say something that moves me, but at this point, I feel the same way. I feel like dad didn't act like a man. He wasn't acting like a dad. He was acting like a male. He was acting like a human being whose feelings were hurt. That's how he was acting, in my opinion. But the job of father, you don't get to always do that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to swallow it for your children. And he didn't follow the assignment. His assignment was get daughter to school safely. He couldn't even do that. Sends her back in there talking about some tell your mama. Not even man enough for you to call her and you tell her why and explain it to you at the very least. Now, maybe he got in the car and he did that. I could see that happening. But come on now. I know you agree with me, right? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you?
Doing well. Jerica.
Good. It's Jerica.
Wow.
So
Good
let
morning.
me start off by saying, good morning. Let me start off by saying I am completely shocked by the responses from some of these men that I'm seeing in the chat. From the initial caller, I think it was Chris, who said, who are leading with some stereotypes that I am shocked that you guys are even throwing out. The first stereotype that was thrown out, it was by you. you stated that maybe this dad was hung over from the night before. Where did that come in at? Did he
It was just
stumble
a
off the
joke.
porch?
It was a bad
Oh,
joke.
okay.
It was a bad
Okay,
joke.
well, we'll X that out then. The next stereotype that was thrown out was from Chris stating, well, if he spoke that way to that child, or that child spoke that way to him, maybe it's because she sees the disrespect that he gives to her mother. Why is that? Where did we come up with that assumption? Is it because he's a Black father that he's possibly disrespectful to the mother and this child is living in a toxic environment? Blew me away. So I'll leave those two stereotypes right there. And I, as a therapist, the majority of my caseload are teenagers. So I am very well versed in dealing with the children, especially teenagers, who have these mood shifts and they go through mood swings. And I completely understand giving children space to allow themselves to process things, but it does not give you a pass to be disrespectful. If you are being disrespectful to me because I am being disrespectful to you, I'm hurting or harming you in some type of way, I'm making you feel unsafe, granted, let's explore that. I can understand it more so. With this situation, I'm right there with Nicole. When he came out of the house, he was speaking to her in a normal tone. This child was obviously, you could see it and you heard it, that she was upset. So she was coming with some disrespect from the beginning. We don't know if this is the first time that this has happened or it's happened multiple times. So where dad was like, you know what, next time this happens, I'm done. I'm not dealing with it. It looks like it's first thing in the morning, dad's on his way to work, taking her to school. And he's like, you know what, I don't have time to deal with this right now. So you go back in the house and you deal with this with your mom. And as the previous caller just stated, we don't know. He may have gotten in a car and called the mom and said, look, this is what your daughter did. And because he used the term, well, go in the house and tell your mom, now we're also assuming that this is a step parent. And because he's a step parent, he is not allotted the same respect a biological parent will receive. Makes no sense to me. And I think that is so far-fetched and disrespectful to step parents as a whole. Being a step parent, I am entitled to the same respect that your biological mother would be entitled to. So I think that is so far-fetched and wrong to say.
Well, I appreciate the passion, but as you're speaking, Jericho, I thought of two things. You're right about that. As a step parent, you are entitled to the same respect as the biological parent. But that also means, as a step parent, that the children are entitled from you the same love and patience that you would give your own biological children. Do you think when the little girl came out and she said, "Don't talk to me," did that register as disrespect to you?
It was the tone in which she said it and the fact that she said it. So there is a way that she could have said that exact same thing in a way that would not be disrespectful. And I will use the example that you gave. When you said about your son, now this wasn't, him walking in on you when he said, I need to get, I don't want to talk. I want to go to my room.
Yeah.
But the way, because we know why he would want to go to his room after seeing what was on your computer. But, sorry, I'm parking. So the way he said it was in a disrespectful way. I mean, in a respectful way, by saying to you, Dad, I need some time. I need to, separate myself from this situation and we'll come back later. Saying to your father, I don't want to talk to you. I mean, the way that she said it was just blatant disrespect. Even in not trying to step on your toes as a dad, I wouldn't even allow my child to yell at me and say, get out of my room. Like that in itself is a no-go. Now, yes,
you're right,
I could
it's a
say,
no-go. I didn't allow her.
yeah,
She tried it. You know what I'm saying? She tested
right.
the waters and she
So did you
realizes
stay in the
now what
room
she
and
gonna
explore
get.
that?
But your kids gonna
Did
test
you
you.
did you stay in the room? Like when she said, get out of my room,
I did
did you
not
say,
only
you know
stay in her
what,
room, but
medium Buddha, I want to stay in your room and have a
I bunked in her
conversation?
room like for the next couple days. I slept in her room. I'm like that though. I'm not the kind of person to tell not to do something because I'll just take it too far. It's just God made me that way.
Okay.
So not only did I go
Okay.
stay in her room, but I stayed in her room for like the next couple of nights and just irritated her to no end. So we
Okay.
had some,
Okay.
and it
Got
turned
it.
into some good daddy-daughter time. That's what happened. We ended up watching some movies together and having a good little time. I slept on her floor. She needed daddy. And that's what I say.
Okay.
I don't register what she says as disrespect. To me, it was not all kids. Again, I'm reading way too much into it, but perhaps they haven't conditioned her to fully express when she's feeling something. And so what she's seen in a household is to react the way that she did. It's all about conditioning your kids. But I don't think that she was inherently disrespectful. I think the dad was more disrespectful, to be honest with you. She's a kid. He's a grown man.
So you felt that he was being disrespectful to the child in the way that he said, go back in the house and tell your mom to take you to
He
school?
was disrespectful to the child in the fact that he did not complete his assignment. His assignment was get daughter to school safely. He didn't do that. And then he was disrespectful to the mom because he just sent the kid back in there on the mother, who's probably thinking she got 10, 15 minutes extra to sleep. And you couldn't even, as a man, call her and tell you yourself? That's disrespectful.
Are parents entitled to their space also?
Of course. But as a parent and as a partner, you just can't do anything you want to do. There's a way you got to do things.
So Nathan, we do not know that, and again, we are all working off of assumption. This is only a snippet of a larger situation, it looks like. But we don't know if that was that dad's breaking point. Like, you know what, I've dealt with this every morning. I'm not dealing with it today. And maybe I need to step away before I say something to this child that is going to upset her. Or maybe this will not be a productive ride. So you know what, take your tail back in the house, tell your mom to take you to school. I don't understand what is so wrong in what this dad did. I truly don't. Now, if this dad would have upchoked this little girl, slapped the crap out of her, or popped her on the head, which I probably would have popped her in her butt on her way past me. But,
abusive.
You know, and that's perfectly fine. You can judge me. Abusive. I don't mind. But at the same time, in this situation, I do not see where this dad did anything wrong. What he did was called her out on her BS in that very moment. And I don't see anything wrong with it. I see a dad who is like, I'm not dealing with this today. I'm on my way to work. You're supposed to be on your way to, like, I don't get that.
And this is where I'm a little upset with you. I'm a little upset with you because you are a therapist and I would expect better. I would expect better.
That's okay.
And what I mean by that is that why is it that when we dealing with a child and the child says something, we automatically take that as disrespect? As a therapist,
we don't
automatically
take.
As a therapist,
every
don't you agree with me
different.
that we should normalize giving even children to space to have a mental health day or to have a bad moment without us
100%.
overreacting to it?
100%. This dad was not overreacting. B, I completely agree with you. Yes, we do need to give our children space to process their emotions because oftentimes, as you stated, children don't have the words to explain their emotions. So yes, I completely understand that, but every situation is not the same. We cannot cookie cut this thing. In this moment, the dad handled it in the best way that he thought was appropriate.
You know what?
He did not become physical with this child.
Jerica, I'm calling you out. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth.
How is that?
Both things cannot be true. You cannot say on one hand, yeah, Nate, I agree with you. We need to normalize giving kids space when they have their moments. And then we have an example where the dad gave her no space. He didn't stop for a second and say, you know what, maybe she's going through something. Let me give her some space. He just automatically pushed her back on the mother.
Every situation is not the same. Every situation is not the same.
We're not talking about every situation. We're just talking about this situation.
But you are. You just stated that when children react like this, we're supposed to give them space. We're supposed to give them space to be disrespectful. I just clearly stated that every situation is not the same.
I know, but we're not talking about every situation. All I'm talking about is in this situation. He didn't give her any space, Jerica. He didn't give her any space. He didn't give her any space.
His space was take your tail back in the house. You processed it with your mama. I'm going to work.
That's called shirking your.
If we want to say that, that's what we do. That father, in my opinion,
he didn't take responsibility for it. He pushed it off on mom. He didn't give the kid no space.
You're entitled to your opinion. You see it the way you see it. I see it the way I see it. I don't believe his father did anything in the wrong. He could have reacted in a more harsh way that may have been detrimental to his relationship with his daughter, more detrimental to this child and how she expresses herself in the future. But in my opinion, he did not handle it that way. I believe he separated himself from the situation and told the child to go back in the house and deal with your mother.
Okay.
We do not know what happened prior to that. We don't know the history with this. And how do we know that this father released the video? Did we read that somewhere?
Yeah, I read it somewhere. I read it on somewhere online. So
that the dad released this
the dad
video.
Released the video, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that's just my position on it. I truly believe that, children's mental health, it's serious, just as serious as a parent, but we also have to take in account that as parents, we need time also. We are not we're not robots. right? We are not here to be punching bags of children. We still have to teach our children how to be respectful to us, as we're supposed to teach them to be respectful to other adults, unless there's some extenuating circumstances of hurt, harm, child abuse, all those good things. But I don't see where this dad did anything wrong.
Okay. All right. We can agree, disagree. Thank you for the call, Jerica.
We
I
can.
appreciate
All right,
you.
take care.
Yeah, that's
Of course.
Jerica. She always giving me the business, but I love me some Jerica. Appreciate her. One of the OGs right there, and all the support over the years. But I totally disagree with her. I totally disagree with her. The dad did do something wrong. And even as she was speaking there, I was thinking, what you've now taught this little girl is that you can't freely speak about what's going on with you, number one. And that when you have an issue, if you don't approach it from like this super passive way, like if you show uh, anger or you show frustration, that this is how we gonna deal with it. Like I said, what he should hit his job that morning as a man, as a father, and as a partner was get daughter to school safely. That's his job. That was his job. And he didn't do that. He didn't do his job. If your daughter don't want to talk, cool. Turn on NPR, turn on your favorite radio station and listen to that. But your job is get daughter to school. And he didn't complete the assignment. But let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Nathan, it's Tracy. How are you?
Hey, Tracy. Good morning. I'm doing well.
I'm going to make this real quick because I'm on my way to a funeral. But listen, you're putting all the onus on dad. What was the assignment of the daughter? Let me tell you, because you're on her side. The assignment of the daughter was get your ass in the car and go to school, not give me a bunch of lip. It would have been different if she said something like, Daddy, I'm not feeling well. Can we just ride? She said, don't talk to me. Who are you talking to? And Nathan, I've heard you say on the show before when you may have had an issue with Buddha, I ain't one of your little friends. We as parents have all said that. Who are you talking to? I ain't one of your little friends. And why is it that she can tell the dad, don't talk to me, but when he sends her in to talk to mom, she can't go deliver a message? You can be grown with one parent, but you can't walk in and be grown with the other. My thing is if you're going to be disrespectful to me off the rip, I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to take you to school. My mother would have made me walk to school, and I would have sucked it up and just did it. But see, we too busy pacifying these kids and letting them have their way and letting them breathe. I don't care if the girl had menstrual cramps. That doesn't give you the right to be disrespectful to me. And I'm getting ready to do something for you. But see, I'm that old school parent. And a lot of parents today think, oh, that's outdated and parents shouldn't do that. And then on the other hand, you got all these who want to be their kid's friend first. And then when shit like this happens and it don't work for you and the kid pops off, that's your fault. So kudos to dad for sending her back in there. I don't care if you told her, go in there and tell your mama, because guess what? As soon as she got in there and she said, where's your daddy? The girl probably started with a line and said, he ain't taking me to school, but now you got to tell him why. So I bet she'll think next time when it's time to go to school, who she talking to, because she wasn't talking to one of her little friends. We're about to leave out the house, Nathan, but I got to go. I'll listen to your response on the other side.
All right. Thank you for the call. That's Tracy right there. Another OG. Another longtime supporter. I appreciate her. And Tracy's about 95% wrong in what she just said. She's about 95% wrong. Like, we all know where she was right. The whole thing about, I'm not your friend. I've told my daughter that before. I'm not your friend. Who you talking to? All that shit. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by grandparents that migrated from the South. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of them had a high school diploma, but they own a couple of homes. That's the stock I come from. Right. So I got all of that. And but she's 95% wrong. She's 95% wrong. And I'm quite amazed at the lack of concern for the mental well-being of the child. Everybody's so adult and parent centric. So let me take it from the top. Most parents are adults, but not all adults are parents. Like, when you have children, there are certain things that end. And there's just some things you got to think about that's bigger than you. And that's them children. That's what you signed up for because you had options. You had options. and you chose to bring children to the world. And when you do that, you stop being an adult on some cases, and now you're a parent. Whole new universe. And sometimes you gotta, think about them. What's the big deal about that? Micah writes, Tracy, say that. See, y'all are just rubber stamping bad behavior. Jerome writes, you are wrong, Nate. I know. I already know. I know I'm wrong. I typically am. But let me go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nathan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Brother Fame, welcome.
Yes, Mellow Ball. Listen, two things can be true at the same time. I don't like Darrell Erkins as far as I can throw him, but he's right. I don't think that's his biological kid, and that's why the reaction he gave. Because if that's his biological kid, he doesn't just usher her into the house. He takes her back there to the mom and tells her what's going on instead of calling. He didn't lose his wits like that because he didn't put hands on her. He didn't curse. He just said, go inside. I ain't talking to you. I ain't taking you to school. Go inside. I don't think that's his kid. I think there's another situation going on that we don't know about. And he's right again. We don't have to put everything on social media. We done seen kids, get beat by their parents. We've seen dads whip their daughters, things like that. Everything isn't for public consumption. So that's where he really messed up at. There's a situation going on with that child, but at the same time, and another thing that tells me that that's not his real daughter, that little girl's what, first grade at the most, second grade? Would you agree?
Somewhere around there, yeah. Yeah, she looks like that.
Yeah. Little kids like that don't talk to their dads all greasy like that. Little girls like that, they think that their dad's their superhero. That tells me that's her biological mom or aunt, somebody that talks greasy about him. And it filters to the child and it comes out in different instances whenever he disappoints her. I ain't talking to you. Don't no little girl talk to don't no first grade, second grade girl talk to their biological dad like that. Only talk to that because somebody told you to talk like that to him. Your biological grandma, your auntie, something like that told you to be disrespectful to him. No little girl that young would be that blatantly, brazenly disrespectful to her dad. I've never seen that. I have two daughters, and neither one of them live with me, but they've never been disrespectful. You understand? But yeah, he did handle it wrong. He should have taken it because he only ushered her into the house, kind of, no, you go back in the house, and they kind of gave her that little mini shove, to lock the door. Walk her in there and tell the mom what's the issue, why you're not taking her to school. Because there's something, I don't want to say unique, but there's something well, okay, for lack of a better word, there's something unique and beautiful about a man taking his child to school, especially his daughter. So there's a dynamic there that we don't know about. It's unfair to really kind of talk about, but based on what we see, he's an asshole. Just based on what we see, he's an asshole for doing that. I'll agree with you on that. Okay, but also I just want to say, slightly changing the subject, hey, that shout out to the NFL for being a better counterpuncher than Floyd Mayweather. Her name Loretta
Lynch.
They hired her to hire their to be the lawyers for their case against Brian Flores.
I saw that. I thought the same thing. Like, smart move. Got you a sister.
Brilliant move by them. Okay, you want to say we racist? Okay, here you go. Good job by them. Very smart tack because the same. What was Donnie B's aware of this? I'm sorry. Is this better?
Let's see.
Can you hear me now? Because if you can't, I'm sorry. I can't really move because I'm in a. Okay. Yeah. What's her name? Donietta B is aware of a situation with my kid at his school. There's only like maybe 20 black kids in the whole district, district wide. like there's like 20 out of, like a 20 out of every 1,000, something like that. And I had some situations with them. And it involved, me, I felt like, as a black dad, they were very disrespectful about them. They ended up suing them. And who did they hire? A black lawyer. And I cussed him out up and down. I said, what kind of nigga would take this case? You're a lawyer, a de facto sociologist, and you would take this case, like that. So, brilliant by the NFL on that. So that's all I got, B. It's been a good morning. Very interesting conversation nonetheless. But that's all I got, and I'll catch up with you some other time, B.
All right. Take it easy, brother. Appreciate the call. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts, I did see that. So Loretta Lynch, former U.S. Attorney General under Obama, is going to represent the NFL in their interest in their case against Brian Flores. And the first thing that I thought is, why would this sister take this case? Why would Loretta Lynch take that case? I mean, is it wrong for me to think that she should show some racial solidarity? Because, like, somebody's got to take the case. Is it a money thing? Did they throw a lot of money at her? She like, hey, sorry, Brian Flores, but we about to shut you down, bro. I don't know. I mean, if I was a lawyer, I don't know if I would take that case. Maybe if I was a lawyer, I'd be trained to think differently, but I'd be like, nah, let somebody else do that. I want to see what happens. So I did think that, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting he brought that up, because I certainly saw that within the last 24 hours and had thought about bringing it up as a topic, even put a little work into my thoughts a little bit. But that was pretty much my thought. Like, wait a minute, Loretta Lynch, why would you take that case, sis? Come on now. We on the same team here. The NFL has to get somebody to defend them, but you? Come on, yo. Now back to what Fame said. He agreed with me. And I'm not looking for people to agree or disagree. It doesn't make a difference either way. I want to know what your opinion is. But he says he's picking up the vibe that man in the video, that's a stepdad, which just underscores just how badly he handled that. And I'm very surprised at all the people in the chop shop. And again, we can always agree, disagree. Ain't the first time, won't be the last time. But I'm very surprised that so many people think that the way he handled this is okay. That is not the way a man handles his daughter or his stepdaughter. That's not how you handle that. I'm gonna say it again in case you might be in that situation. Your kids say something you like that, don't automatically pop off on you ain't gonna disrespect me. But see, I think people in the audience was raised by parents that was old school, and that was don't you, the smallest hint of any little disrespect, you trying to buck up, don't be bucking up with me, all this kind of shit. I mean, kids deserve space for mental health as well. They deserve that. Maybe she got an attitude because something's bothering her. You said you was going to pick me up yesterday and you didn't even come. Who knows what it is. I wanted SpaghettiOs yesterday. You got me some damn pizza. I don't know what the problem is, but at least give the child a space to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? To express themselves. At least do that. And before you knew it, within 3 seconds, he had already shirked his responsibility. Now you're not taking her to school. She still got to get to school. So what, you don't care? You don't care about her going to school now, Dad? Oh, okay. So what if you was a single father? Then you wouldn't have the opportunity to say, go in there and tell your mama, because then you got to do it. That's how you got to look at it sometimes. Even when you got a parent or a co-parent, shit, even in a marriage, it's just some shit you just got to do. It's on you. Period. His job was get daughter to school safely, because he still got to go to school, and he did not complete the assignment because he overreacted to the whole situation. So now what's going to happen is, and you got to think like this. This is how I would think anyway, is what's the child's mentality when they go to school? What's the child's mentality when they got to go to school? Is she going to be in the right frame of mind? Is she going to get a teacher's hail? Am I going to get a call? Is she going to be able to focus because I fumbled the ball? He fumbled the bag on this. You don't send your kids to school like that. Now, sometimes there might be some things that's unavoidable and you got to tune them up and it's just what it is. But something like that, you don't want to send your kid to school like that. Come on. I see you, Akeem. Okay, bro. I don't know what any of that means, man. I mean, okay, brother. Every topic's not for everybody, man. I'm okay with that. I'm so okay with it, bro. You don't have to tell me, but if you want to tell me, you can tell us. It's all good. Let me talk about. We got more time. It's not nowhere near. We got about 20 minutes. So let me talk about the Sha'Carri Richardson, because again, I was very, and again, if you still want to chime in on this particular topic, I mean, great. I want to hear your thoughts. I genuinely want to hear your thoughts. And my question is, do you think that the father handled it the correct way? Okay. Cass writes, why are we only focused on her? He still has to go to work and be productive as well. But come on, Cass, I can't believe you asking that question. The answer is simple, because she's the child. That's why. And I don't expect an adult to act like a child. And I don't expect for a child to act like an adult. I don't react the same way my kids do. I'm grown. So no, in that situation, Cass, he's supposed to be the father, the grown-up, the man. And she is the child. And children are going to be immature. They're going to do stuff. But you don't sink to their level. Oh my gosh, darn it. My work is just getting going. So that's why we focused on her, because she is the child. He had his time to be a kid. And hopefully when he did that, his parents acted in a way that nurtured and supported him as well. You know what I'm saying? Rather than making him feel like she can't express herself and not teaching her the best way to really deal with these kind of things. Cass writes, I call BS on that. You call BS on what? How could you call BS on adults acting like adults? What in the hell? I expect for a grown man to act like a grown man. And I expect for children to act like children. And it ain't the same. It's nowhere near the same. And that don't work for anybody. We don't want that to be the same. Tracy writes, she wasn't a child that day. And see, that's where you're wrong, Tracy. That's where you're 100% wrong. She absolutely was a child that day. She absolutely was a child. She wasn't no child that day. See, that's that old school logic. I get it. Again, I grew up in that environment too. I understand it, but some of that shit was wrong. It's the reason why a lot of us are screwed up as adults today, because our parents didn't deal with stuff right. And he did not deal with that right. Y'all be the same ones talking about, ain't no good men out here. I'm trying to tell you, that's not the way a man deals with that situation. A real man does not deal. No, it's not about differing parenting style. There's only one style. You are the grown-up. That's the style. He didn't act like a grown-up. He was acting like a child like her. Start pouting. You know what? I don't have time for this today. Then what do you have in your day that's more important than taking care of your child? You got a meeting? You got a Zoom call? Come on, y'all. Y'all tripping, y'all. Somebody feel me out there. Somebody feels me. I may be in the minority this morning, and I'm okay with that, but somebody feels me. But let me talk about the IOC, because Sha'Carri Richardson, remember her? That was the fabulous sprinter. And everybody has so many good thoughts about her possibilities, the possibilities of her in the Olympics. Remember the sister, she came from like nothing, and she's a hell of an athlete, and she's got the colored hair and the long eyelashes and the long nails. Remember her? Let me see if I can get an image here for you. She is a hell of an athlete. She'll be back. And she didn't do too well. Well, she didn't get a chance to compete, actually, because she has some issues with a positive marijuana test. Now, I'll say it again. We need to stop overreacting to marijuana. There's no reason in the world why an Olympic athlete, if they test positive for marijuana, there's no medical reason because it's not what they call an enhancement. Like some drugs have been scientifically found out to actually enhance an athlete's capability, whether it's the recovery or, during the moment, right? But that's not what's happening with marijuana. Now, what I would recommend is if you're an athlete or whatever the case may be, and you're trying to be a part of an organization or a job or something like that, and you find out that they don't allow people, employees, or participants to have marijuana in their system, what I recommend you do is to not do anything that puts marijuana in your system if that's something that's important to you. Whether I think it's ridiculous or not, I mean, that's the game. That's the game. That you want to play in that sand, in that playground, those are the rules. They say no marijuana. Okay. But in the court of public opinion, ain't no damn marijuana making her a better sprinter. I don't believe it. Now, you might make your argument it helps with recovery because it helps with sleep, and athletes need to sleep. And I agree with you. Sleeping is sort of like, it's the fountain of youth, really, in a lot of ways, in a healthy lifestyle. That's the fountain of youth. But now we got a bit of a controversy because a Russian figure skater named Kamila Valieva tested positive for a performing enhancing drug. Apparently, she had it in her system a month before, the Olympic Games, and she was allowed to continue. She was given a reprieve. And people are saying, oh, this is apples and oranges. No, it seems very similar to me. Now, there are some differences here. One difference is Kamila Valieva is 15 years old. So people are saying as a minor, somehow the rules are different. And then the second thing is that Sha'Carri Richardson tested positive before the games. And the positive test for performing enhancing drugs from Kamila Valieva happened during the games. So they're kind of like, well, it's a minor, plus the games are already going on. It's okay. It's okay if you just, how much performing enhancing? That much? Okay, I think that's okay. If it was that much, we got a problem. But just this much? Okay, great. And Sha'Carri Richardson goes on social media like, can somebody explain what the difference is? Like, literally, that's what she said. Can somebody please explain the difference for me? Huh? Like, how is she allowed to compete, but I'm not allowed to compete? Let me see if I can put some images up from you. This is from the dailymail.com or .co. My friends over there, check them out. They do great work. But let me see if I can share some images with you real quick. Just so you can kind of see what we're talking about here. Boom, there we go. So that is the Russian skater right there, Valieva, only 15 years old. Was found to have 2 legal and 1 illegal substances in her system. And experts say that it probably all put together was used to enhance her performance. It's okay for her. But this sister, remember Sha'Carri Richardson? And I was very not happy when all that went down with her. I was very not happy. Like, she only had herself to blame because if I'm a big-time Olympic athlete, you better believe I'm not going to have nothing in my system. If, like, that's something that's in me, don't even come around me with that. If I suspect you got that in your system, you can't even come to my house. We're not hanging out because I don't want to get no contact from you because I want to make sure I pass this test. That's me. But come on, marijuana dashed that young girl's all her hopes and dreams, a whole future. So I think she was completely right. And now people are looking at the IOC, which is corrupt. If you know anything about their history, they corrupt as hell anyway. They are super corrupt. Oh my God. Anyway, the homie Dave Zirin wrote whole books about chapters about how corrupt they really are. But I'm like, what? I don't understand. So is this like a black athlete thing? Is this like an American athlete thing? Is it a combination of it? But there's something there. And I'm glad Sha'Carri spoke up about it because a lot of people, dumb-ish or people get funny around and they don't say nothing. So I'm glad she spoke out about it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, Nate. D Wizzle here. How you doing today?
What up, D Wizzle? What you doing, bro?
Oh man, it's all good. It's
It's
all
good to
good.
hear, man.
Um,
I saw you on real
yeah,
quick before you get to your flows, but
yes,
I saw that. Did you go over to? You went to LA for the game?
yeah. I was in LA, and I was in there out there about 4 days, and I got a job because I started a couple. Well, I started a new company along with what I already do, and I actually left Cincinnati in October, so I'm in the ATL.
Really?
Um, but yeah, I do travel all over the country. Yeah, yeah. So, but I had to leave just short of the Super Bowl because a a um, a logistics company I started had some freight that needed to be moved, and they were paying 3 times the rate. So I jumped on that. You know.
Okay.
So,
Well, how was
but
LA?
yeah. So,
What was that whole experience like leading up to the Super Bowl?
oh man, it was great, man. The weather you know, it's always great. You know, I was in Houston prior to that, and I got called. I saw the weather was going to change to sleep about that Thursday, so I tried to. I left Wednesday, but got the tail end of it, and it also it came down all the way down past San Antonio to El Paso. By the time I got to New Mexico, you know, it was starting to wear off. But once I got to LA, man, the weather was great. It was 70s, and back in you know Midwest, it was the sleet and all that. But I enjoyed it, man. The food, the cultures, the weather, the atmosphere, everything was great, man.
That's great to hear, man. So,
Yeah,
what's your flow
yeah.
this morning? What's on your mind?
Yeah, I don't blame Shikari for speaking up because, yeah, it's obviously, I mean, we're in America. I mean, these are double standards, obviously. Now, she, you know, she admitted she smoked marijuana after dealing with her mom's death. And they did the stall tactic on her, and where the state she was at, marijuana was actually legalized, and of course it was illegal for her to be messing with that as an athlete, uh, as a Olympian. But the state, so it wasn't an illegal crime which she was doing, but it was against the rules, obviously, of the Olympics. So I mean, because in that state she was in, marijuana was actually a legal substance. Now, the 15-year-old Russian girl, they made every excuse in the book for her, man. She drank her grandfather's water, and he had a little of his medicine in there, and that, you know, that story is out there. I don't know if you heard that story, but that's out there floating. And she actually, as you just said, had 3 different substances in her system. A concoction is supposed to uh, go directly towards the doping effect, you know. So, and they stalled. What they did, the tactic, the Olympic Committee didn't address it. They allowed her to withdraw or somehow step away as a contender and allow her to re-enter under this Russia's. They have a separate organization, so she wouldn't be penalized. The organization would be penalized, and they allowed it to stretch out 30 days, so she would not be called to the carpet, and she would have a chance to compete. And so yeah, there's all kind of tricks around this whole subject, and they're using everyone, and they're not pulling out any stops. I mean, they're using every trick. She's 15. She drank her grandfather's water. She wasn't with the Russians. She was this other Russian board or committee or this organization that reports to the Olympic Committee, and they stretched it out. And in the same way on Shikari's side, they stretched hers out to where she wouldn't be able to compete. So they, you know what they're doing. So one was a positive, one was a negative, you know, in the delay tactics. And it's just really crazy. So I don't blame her for making it public and making them have to answer for it.
Hey, D Whistle, don't be a stranger, man. I appreciate your voice this morning.
Always checking you out. All
Yeah,
right,
man.
peace.
Yeah, I didn't realize he was had left Cincinnati. Appreciate D Whistle, another OG. Appreciate the support. Before we roll out of here, so there's an interim police chief, and we had Iris Rowley on yesterday, and she was giving us her thoughts, her preliminary thoughts. And as Iris Rowley was talking yesterday, and it was near the end of the show, and I really thought about it afterward. She was describing the new white female police chief. First time a woman has ever been the interim or police chief in the city of Cincinnati. And I think in a lot of ways, that's a great thing. But I wonder about the type of mentality that's going to come in, right? Because as much as we change what we've learned, her name is Teresa Thietke, Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Thietke. She's already been like the executive police chief, meaning that when the current police chief couldn't do something or be somewhere, she would stand in whatever capacity, and even perhaps internally. Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Thietke. Now, what I'm about to say is not fair. Let me preface it, because what I'm going to say is not fair. But I'm going to say it anyway. It needs to be said. Because I'm not really sure. I haven't heard a lot about her. I'm going to ask more around and check a few sources here and there and see what people think about Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Thietke for sure. Nobody will say anything on the record, but maybe I can get some honest thoughts. And maybe I'm wrong in this, but you've got different mentalities on the police force. You've got people on the police force that see the good in policing, but they understand that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of diversity, that there's a lot of work that needs to be done in terms of making sure that we are, being responsible to the community in terms of reforms. There are people on the police force that understand that and believe in the checks and balances. And then when there's bad cops, they ain't got no problem putting them out there. Okay. But then you got that other mentality, right? That old school where police can do no wrong whatsoever. And I'll be honest with you, this is maybe it's just me, but when Iris Rowley was describing Teresa Thietke, and she was like, oh, she comes from a long generation of police and brothers this and fathers this and this, that, and the other. I just wondered, like, does that mean that she's going to have the kind of personality or the kind of mentality where the police can do no wrong? I mean, does she have an old school mentality when it comes to police, which is, as I said before, the police can do no wrong, police centric, even in the face of what is obviously wrong? Or is this some of that new mentality, right? The mentality that we need, where they understand that there's a lot of good, but there's also some bad that's got to be dealt with on a regular basis, and we can't be afraid of it. That was my thoughts. Because, and I'm not sure where I'm getting this from, but it seems to me like when you have like some folks and they come from a long history of police officers, that they can't see things the way they really need to be seen. They can't see it because they're so close to it. All they see is the good, what we do, the struggle. They don't see the other stuff, and it blinds them. You talk to people like that, you probably seen them, didn't even realize it. Maybe you was debating with them on Facebook. Long history of police and law enforcement, they passed. And again, I think it's an admirable job. But I'm just saying, some of those kind of people, they can't see it. They can't see what needs to be done. They don't see the issues because they're so close to it. I don't know. Dale writes, I'm afraid she might have the 700 mentality coming from a family of law enforcement. So I guess I'm not alone in that. I'm not alone. And again, I'm not trying to say anything. I don't want to generalize, but I just want to be human. And I want to be honest with you. That's what I thought. So I don't know. I'm going to reach out to the lieutenant colonel. We'll talk to her here if she's willing to come on. And I believe that she was on yesterday. I think she was on yesterday with Sister Iris Rowley. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I'll definitely check that out. As I'm sitting here thinking about it right now. Did she go on with Iris yesterday? I don't know. I think she told me she was going to, and I didn't get a chance to check it out. I was doing other shit. But I definitely want to see that interview. And then I want to interview her myself, ask her some questions, get a sense of who she is, because I just wonder, you know what I'm saying? Some people can't see the problems with the police force. They just can't see it because all they see is the other side. Doesn't mean they're bad people. Don't mean they're bad people. It just means that they got that tunnel vision. You know what I'm saying? Their experiences won't allow them to see anything outside of that. And I think that's a problem. We don't need that in a police chief. You know, we need a police chief that understands the good about the old guard of policing and has got that spirit, but understands that there are ongoing challenges, that there are ongoing, community concerns, that bad apples need to be weeded out and exposed for the overall harmony, that diversity is a great thing, that it'll make your police department stronger, that transparency is a great thing. It'll make the relationship between your police department and the public that they serve even stronger, right? That's the kind of mentality that we need. I don't know if she has it or not. I'm just spitballing here. I want to share that with you. Before we roll out, I want to remind you that today's show is brought to you in part by our friends over at Renew Community Church. That's right. The Sunday morning masterclass is back this Sunday, 11:45 a.m. You can tap in on YouTube at Renew Community Church live stream. In fact, they're trying to grow their YouTube presence, so go over there and hit them with a sub. On Facebook, facebook.com/CINCI Renew. Live your best life. Learn how to be your best self. You can check them out. Good morning to you. Fox writes, rise and shine, young stars. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Ray writes, good risings all. Fox says he needs more information, really can't comment. Ray writes, I can't imagine telling my dad not to talk to me. The respect was too high. I don't care how hard I may have been tripping. Fame made a point, and I agree with him. My daughter, when she was a kid, she never said anything to me like that. I was a superhero to my daughter. Now, when she became a teenager, I ain't shit now, right? But when she was younger, I was everything. You know what I'm saying? She never said anything to me like that. Never. And she didn't start talking slick and greasy. Another quote from Fame. Appreciate you, brother. You're a fountain of creativity. But she didn't start talking slick and greasy until she became a teenager. But that's just them testing. That's just her testing things out. And she got what she was looking for. She wanted to test, and she got the test. CG Dub writes, good morning, Choppers. I still love that name. Ray writes, is this his biological daughter? How does the mother play into how the daughter acts? Going back a little bit. Sharp writes, Ring camera must have. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and just make the purchase. All about the security. Like, we got a system now, but the Ring camera just will afford some things that we don't have right now. Perhaps the parents got into it and he wanted confirmation from the masses that he didn't do anything wrong. Could have been. That's the reason why he put it out there. Could have been. Could have been. How many times must I say we have got to oust white people's black people? Is that right? White people's black people. Have an excellent rest of your day, family. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning, right early at 8 a.m. We'll chop it up. Never know what we'll be talking about. Hopefully it's interesting to you. Never know who we'll be talking to. I've got several interviews I'm sort of chasing right now. I've got requests out, and when they come in, they come in. So tap back into the show. Please like and in particular share today's show as we grow out the show on our platform. And I'll talk with you real soon. All right. Remember our motto. Let's say it together. Winners focus on winning, and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning, and we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.